Hi, my name is Thessa Ryan. I will be starting my master's in teaching starting this summer. I was part of the MET 4+1 program, and I recently got my bachelor's in studio art from UMKC this past May. So for the video, one of the words that jumped out at me was the word listen, and I think that's because assessment should be formulated based on teachers listening to their students and what their students need, and not just giving them assessments based on what has been given previously. It should be formulated for the students. Sorry, that's my cat. So one of the outstanding memories I have of assessments was when I was a sophomore in college. I went to community college first, and I took an anatomy course, which was a lot harder than I thought it would be. And this course, my first assessment I had was very difficult, and I didn't realize it was going to be that difficult. We had to know certain bones, obviously, but also like where the bones fit together. We had to know the notches. And so the first time I took that assessment, I bombed it, but the second time I took it for a different unit. I knew exactly what to expect, and nothing really changed in the assessment or how he gave the assessment. So I was able to learn from that and do a lot better the next time. So I would call that like a positive memory, because I learned from my mistakes and I studied based on what I need to know for the future. Okay, so I think an in-depth idea that has kind of changed or challenged what I think of assessments is at the beginning of the video, they talk about what if assessment is just a social interaction. And I think that's really interesting because it kind of goes back to how I was talking about listening, and listening is really important when creating assessments. And yeah, I just don't think that, I think assessments, like the goal of them is to see where your students are at and to learn from that, and create assessments around your student and the culture of your classroom. And then one from the reading, in Dr. Pace's article, I believe it was on page 20, she talks about how there are students that they were kind of like talking about what they wish their teacher would have been doing, in terms of like there's one student who wanted to talk about the reading to their neighbor, but the teacher said that they had to be quiet. And then there's other students who they just wanted to do shared reading. So and then Dr. Pace, had just a list of things that she could learn from based on that feedback. So this included asking open-ended questions, formulating dialogue for students. I just think that's really important, and it shows growth not only from the instructor, but also on behalf of the student for future assessments. Yeah, I think kind of maybe being redundant here, but I think this initial activity just shows that teaching is really about like a dialogue between students. It's like a living organism. The classroom's a living organism. It's not set in stone. Every classroom is going to be different. And it's just important to grow from that. So yeah, and to formulate your own dialogue with your student. Yeah, I'm just interested how this class is going to be directed to kind of that dialogue between teacher and student, especially when you have to meet deadlines and certain like state standards, how you can kind of complement or orient that combined with wanting to meet the needs of your students. So yeah, that's just what I was thinking. So